And the first thing I want to say is, we're all going to miss you. We're all going to be lesser without you. It's going to be really hard, to fly this ship without you. You've, really, not only have you been such a fundamental part of the ecosystem of ni ji EN for such a long time and been such an interesting person to hang out with, you've also, I think you and I have experienced this as well, some of the easiest people in ni ji EN to make fun of, which is a lot of fun. So I think this place is going to be a lot less humorous as well. And obviously, I mean that with love. I guess one question I've got for you is, how are you feeling about moving on?
I'm feeling, I don't know how I'm feeling, honestly speaking. I feel like it's just such a jumble of emotions. It's like when you try and, like, for example, if I were to ask you what your favorite, like, film is, or, why you like art house films, your brain will just automatically implode in itself, like there's so many different things to think about. So it's the same thing with me. I feel a very large mix and concoction of emotions. I feel like I'm grieving at the same time. I feel like I'm happy to see and achieve all these things. It kind of, my graduation coalesced with hitting, a subscriber milestone as well. So I was just like, damn, I don't know how to celebrate this. You know what I mean? You kind of feel what I mean, like a bittersweet.
It must be
moment for sure.
It must be, yeah. And I think there's something really interesting in how, like, I personally don't have any plans to graduate for a very long time, but I can't lie and say that sometimes I don't imagine, I wonder if I did, what would I do? How would I manage it? What would the circumstances be? How would I try to go out with a bang and all of that? I imagine there, and there is kind of a weird sense of excitement for, in however many years that is, what will that feel like? But then thinking about what comes after it, for me personally, I imagine what you feel is like a sense of excitement and a little bit of freedom. Like, it's going to be interesting to try new things. But for me, I don't really know if I could find that. So I imagine it would be a really strange mixture of emotions, and me personally, I can only imagine that. I'm sure, I'm certain that you will find like the perfect place to be. Honestly,
you're so sweet. Like, to kind of go back to what you were saying though earlier about flying the ship without me, I need to put like I need to double back on that and kind of say that I don't think it's insane to say that male VTubing would not be where it is without you and without Langxium. Like, the truth of it is, Niji-sanji would not have, perhaps, because girls and female VTubers were seen as and praised as, like, kind of the ones that started it all, the OGs and everything. But without the success of Langxium and all five of you, coming to the scene and setting the groundwork, laying the foundation for me and for all of the other boys, Crisis, people like the boys in Luna, like we really wouldn't be here without you, because without you guys, male VTubing would still be seen as almost like, not really a joke, but for lack of a better word, like just like a hobby or a fad, a passing thing. You know what I mean?
It was, it was not the
you're
same.
So essential. Yeah.
Thank you. That really means a lot coming from you, and you are right. I remember, it's quite a funny story. I remember back when right before I first went to auditioned. I remember talking to my dad
3 years ago almost. That's
3 years ago almost. I remember talking to my dad, and because I was at kind of like a between part in my life. I was about to finish. I had just finished my second year in university, and I was talking to my dad, and I basically said, it's like, it's a really cool thing, but it's kind of like a female dominated space, and I was thinking, which is very much the case, especially in the West. In the West, we hadn't really had anyone truly pop off as a male VTuber, and then I just sort of went for it, and it's mad to have sort of looked at that and then really, the way that Luxian popped off the way that they did. And I don't know. I think something fascinating about it is that, okay, let's get this out of the way. Let's get this out of the way right out of the gate.
Thank you so much